Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Insurance Journal's Academy of Insurance's weekly webinar After Show. I'm your host, George, and joining me for the After Show today is the Director of the Academy of Insurance, Mr. Patrick Raitt, and today's instructor. Today's class was Predicting 2026 Capacity, Competition, and Catastrophe. And our instructor, Mr. Chris Burand. Chris, it's genuinely great to have you here. Welcome to the After Show. How are you?
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. That is a favorite topic of mine to present on.
Fantastic. And it's funny because you only get to do it once every 2026. Just kidding. So, capacity, competition, and catastrophe. When you were putting this class together, did anything surprise you about the data that you were gathering about the insurance industry, or do you comment on it so much and consult on it so much that it wasn't a surprise, all the data you were amassing in terms of where the industry was going? You know,
It's a great question because I look at industry data daily. And what's surprising to me is how all the pieces of the puzzle fit so well together starting in 2018. How carriers quit buying reinsurance and the domino effect that has caused. And it's permanently changed the trajectory of the insurance industry on multiple levels. And the more I've looked at it, the more pieces of the puzzle I find that all go back to that one event of not buying reinsurance.
not
That
buying
was the
reinsurance.
surprising part. Yeah, that was the surprising part. Um, I didn't think when I first started doing it that everything would fit together so well, but it really does. It was a momentous, game-changing event when they did that.
You talked about carriers not doing great, or carriers that aren't doing great selling zombie accounts. Can you tell us the difference? Like, or can you tell us if we can tell the difference? Like, how good are zombie accounts to hide the fact that they're zombie accounts?
Well, you have zombie companies and you have zombie accounts, both. So the zombie accounts are pretty easy to identify. They're accounts that most people generally don't want to write unless they just want the money. First year commission, because they're going to cause a problem. They're going to be loss ratios. They're going to be hard to work with. They're not going to have the data. They're not going to cooperate. All of those sorts of things. Agents and carrier underwriters can identify those really quickly and easily. It's not hard. What's happened, though, is that a lot of carriers are stuck with them because they're not good enough to write the good accounts. Question is whether they're smart enough to know that they're writing the adverse selection. The carriers that are zombies, that's harder. That's a lot harder. And that's where my analytics, one of the reasons I developed my analytics was help people identify those zombie companies quicker, more efficiently, with less question, less gray area, more black and white. And I'm pretty confident in my data and my analytics. We've back tested it. They're right. It works.
Gotcha. And when you say an industry that focuses on the inconsequential will be an inconsequential industry, what how can we focus on the consequential? What are the secrets to you, or is there no secret?
There aren't any secrets to it. It's very simple. It's black and white. Start focusing on it's a funny thing. I'll tell you a funny story. Tell everybody a really funny story. This happened last week. I have a client, a really good upfront underwriting client, and the carrier isn't real happy with them because the loss ratios are so low that they told the agent they don't deserve profit sharing. Like, how asinine can you actually be to make that statement at the carrier level? So what's an agent going to do? The agent's going to just move that business to somebody else that does appreciate it, and they'll give crap to the one that made such a stupid statement. It's not rocket science psychology to figure this stuff out. And yet it seems to be lacking at the carrier level. So you have that situation. Let's just be smart about it. Like, not rocket science. Another aspect of it is that literally well over, by every single study I have seen, read, last 10 years, well over 50% of all commercial assets are no longer tangible assets. And it's above 80% that are now not tangible. In our world, P&C world, the only intangible assets we insure, and we don't do a great job of it, is business income. That's it. You could argue a little bit about cyber, but if you read the cyber policies closely, most of them are illusory, let's say, in that sense. A lot of them are. And if all of the assets are intangible and insurance companies aren't willing to insure what's the actual tangible assets, which is what insurance was designed to do, there's no future for property insurance in the United States. It doesn't matter. It just flat doesn't matter. There's no other way to describe it. And the argument about not insuring intangible assets is so bogus. The argument is we don't know how to value those assets. Geez almighty, how in the world are insurance agencies being sold at 12 to 14 times EBITDA if no one knows how to value intangible assets? Because that's all an insurance agency is. It's a really ludicrous, oxymoronic response, multiple levels. And beyond that, I've got a certification to value intangible assets, and a whole lot of other people do too. So the whole thing's bogus, and if you don't like it, just do it on that we're going to set a limit, and if we lose those assets, we don't have to worry about the valuation clause. If we set a limit at $1 million, the value's $1 million. We do that with tangible property already. It's not rocket science involved here by any means of the imagination. Sorry to get on a soapbox, but
no,
I want to make
Chris,
it plain
thank
to
you.
everybody.
That's okay. Chris, thanks for your. Absolutely, Patrick. I'm almost scared to ask this next question, but what'd you think of the topic in general and Chris's class in particular? And I suspect you should answer a certain way because Chris's data is non-pareil.
I mean, the truth of it is here is that well, first off, I have been looking forward to this particular class for weeks now. I'm so excited that we had it, and but the fact is that you can't numbers. You can make numbers tell the wrong story, but the numbers are what they are, right? And so what we're seeing is the result, I believe, of an industry that is nominally regulated but poorly so, and not really consistently so. um, the reason you've got carriers uh, that have almost illusory surplus because it's all in debt or it's in letters of debt, that you don't have true surplus in the bank with them is because the regulators allow it. The reason that you have so little surplus is because the regulators allow it. I've been thinking about this for the last couple of years. Is that maybe we need to look at modernizing some of the solvency regulations to make sure that companies are actually as solvent as they think they are, or at least as solvent as they say they are. Um, and so I think this is super timely, and it tells a very intriguing story that truly needs to be listened to, probably more than is most people are comfortable listening.
Chris, it sounds like he concurs with you.
Yeah, it's interesting the different perspectives that he brought there. They're subtle, different perspectives, but they're important ones. And we definitely have one of the regulators reduced the amount of capital required for a certain kind of captive now to, I think it was $250,000 this year. I don't know what $250,000 can buy you in the event of a claim of any significance. It's not very much money. There's companies out there that can insure. I did the calculations earlier this year. They have enough surplus to insure 25 homes on the west coast of Florida. Well, how many homes does a hurricane damage or destroy?
Right.
Right. So I think that I know everybody's desperate for more and more carriers in certain parts of the country, but at some level, as a carrier that can only really truly insure 25 homes, a carrier. I think there's a lot of angles to this that the public would benefit from a little bit more thought thinking through at the regulator level. Really
Absolutely.
believe that.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for a great class today. Lots of info and irrefutable data, apparently. So that you can.
It's
So
irrefutable.
anyone that watches, listens to the class, anything like that, rest assured that that is infallible stuff where we have going on. Chris, we're going to have you back a few more times next year, including predicting 2027.
Yeah, I appreciate it. One quick point. If you don't like that data that I presented and you don't agree with it, that's NAIC data. So the only alternative is somebody supplied the wrong data to the NAIC. Go for it, folks.
Love it. Love it. Patrick Great, Director of the Academy of Insurance. Great to have you here. Thank you so much. Chris Burand, always a fantastic experience having you as our instructor. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your knowledge and everything else that goes along with it. Gentlemen, I hope your holiday season's great. Chris, thanks again. We hope to have you back next year. On behalf of both of these gentlemen, I'm George, your host. Thanks, everyone, for coming to the after show. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.